The record of this moment is peculiar, not etched in the annals of kings or battles, but in the scattered consciousness of a god. Tales of Hurting Gods, Chapter 959, Chapter 960 begins where the remnants of the Grand Emperor's mind, a fragment captured by Qin Mu, whisper secrets too vast for any single mortal. Shu Jun, the divine king whose head lies fractured, yet whose cunning survives, plots beneath the laughter and bargains, his two disembodied eyes leaping with restless calculation. As Qin Mu deciphers the overwhelming memories of the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness, he realizes the technique is both a treasure and a puzzle. Modified beyond recognition, its full power elusive. The Spirit Embryo Divine Treasure trembles under his attempts to perfect it, and outside, ancient forces stir, unseen but impatient. In this precarious convergence of stolen knowledge and renewed ambition, one question hangs over the unfolding tale. Who will seize true mastery first, and at what cost? The lingering consciousness of the Grand Emperor recoiled and vanished, leaving behind only a cold hum of disdain. Qin Mu paid it no mind. It was the Grand Emperor, after all. Such a consciousness was the pinnacle of thought, a tempest of experience and memory. To seize even a fragment of it was a stroke of fortune. The consciousness of a god contained both thought and memory. Qin Mu's ultimate aim was to extract the cultivation technique of the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness. Complete mastery of the Grand Emperor eluded him. He had captured only a shard, yet even a fragment could grant the wisdom to pursue that supreme cultivation. If fortune favored him, the path to the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness might lie within this fragment. The Grand Emperor's consciousness had been lured from the imperial seal and the sacrificial altar. A perilous venture, a trial of fate. But in peril, opportunity lurked. The wise seized the chance, stepping forth through the veil of danger. Many saw only the threat, retreating from crisis, blind to the twin nature of peril and possibility. Qin Mu and his companions, however, had forced the Grand Emperor back and taken part of his consciousness, grasping the opportunity that crisis afforded. As the Grand Emperor's mind withdrew, Luo Wushuang and Yue Tingyi emerged from his divine treasure. Qin Mu bowed in gratitude, and Shu Jun returned to the Grand Primordium Divine Stone, receiving Qin Mu's conscious thanks in turn. Matters of life and death touch us all. No thanks are needed, he said, his eyes dancing within his skull. If you wish, offer more consciousness, essence, and blood, and I shall restore my ears, mouth, and nose. Qin Mu laughed, a sound as free as mountain winds. Relax, King Jun, your wish is granted. Shu Jun's smile was cold and commanding. King Jun? My people did not call me that. I was Divine King Shu Jun, one of the 3 kings of the primordial era. You shall address me as Divine King. You may have seized a fragment of the Grand Emperor's consciousness, but you cannot refine it to obtain its memory. Provide more essence, blood, and consciousness, and I will restore my head and teach you. Is that not a fair bargain? Qin Mu furrowed his brows and proposed, teach me the method to refine the Grand Emperor's consciousness, and I shall impart its knowledge to you. Do you not desire the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness? This path serves us both better. Shu Jun's heart stirred, a spark of calculation in his gaze. A tempting proposal. My 3 enclosures' higher knowledge is formidable, yet it pales before the Grand Emperor's supreme consciousness. Yet he rose to greatness not solely from power. The visualization of countless lives aided him. Qin Mu pressed. If the Grand Emperor's consciousness holds the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness, I shall share it fully with you. Once revived, Divine King Shu Jun, with this supreme power, you may well ascend to be the next Grand Emperor. A genuine smile curved Shu Jun's lips. Agreed. It is a promise. I promise. Joy flitted through Shu Jun's mind. For once, this fellow feels relief. The Grand Emperor's Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness far surpasses my 3 enclosures' higher knowledge. Yet, wait. His eyes blinked with sudden cunning. If my mind is restored, I could occupy his body, extinguish his consciousness, and refine the Grand Emperor myself. Better yet, if I teach him the refining method without my mind, I cannot cultivate the supreme consciousness trapped within. I suffer a grave loss. Fury erupted in the head atop the sacrificial altar. Eyes rolling violently, he roared, How dare you toy with me, a divine king? I shall kill you. I shall. Qin Mu's smile was serene. Will Divine King Shu Jun, one of the three primordial kings, truly break his word? Time passed, and Shu Jun's anger cooled. He honored his promise, imparting the technique to refine a consciousness and extract its memory. Yet satisfaction did not accompany his teaching. The divine art was called Rising Heaven Creation of Knowledge, a secret of the three enclosures' higher knowledge. Qin Mu received it and immediately set to reshaping it, a habit Shu Jun had long accepted. With modifications complete, he began refining the Grand Emperor's consciousness. Rising Heaven Creation of Knowledge required the repositioning of 72 constellations and 328 star gods, each rising into the heavens, shifting stars so that constellations danced irregularly across the void. Each motion generated a mighty force, refining the adversary's consciousness, converting memories into knowledge to be absorbed without altering the cultivator's own thoughts. A nourishment for the mind, a shield against assimilation, and a ladder to higher consciousness. Within the Spirit Embryo Divine Treasure, Qin Mu unleashed the technique upon the Grand Emperor's consciousness, trapped in the heavenly vessel. Chaotic visions assailed him. An onslaught of memories spanning millennia, the primordial era's fragments were countless. He separated wheat from chaff, discarding the irrelevant, absorbing only what held power. Though memories of the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness were few, shards of consciousness arts appeared. His strength grew with alarming speed, surpassing the gains of three enclosures' higher knowledge. When most of the Grand Emperor's consciousness had been refined, only modest techniques of the Supreme Consciousness remained. Yet he persevered, refining what remained, and more fragments revealed themselves. Qin Mu exhaled, arranging knowledge into form. The Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness differed from the three enclosures' higher knowledge by scale of visualization. The latter governed 78 constellations and 328 star gods. The former commanded up to 365 constellations and nearly 2,000 star gods, exceeding even Qin Mu's comprehension. Were there truly so many ancient gods? And where have they gone? He paused, pondering the near extinction of these ancient powers, then returned to his task. Beyond numbers, the Supreme Consciousness visualized the universe through the corporeal body itself, gods dwelling in every corner, from the heart to the sea of Qi, from Dantian to Yongquan, from backbone to star points. Each god was a universe incarnate. No wonder Shu Jun spoke of the Grand Emperor's unparalleled body. To cultivate thus, one must possess such corporeal might. Yet whose body was stronger, the ancient celestial emperors or the Grand Emperors? The Grand Emperor's consciousness, within the Spirit Embryo Divine Treasure, was fully refined. Yet its true nature diverged from Qin Mu's expectations. The Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness had been fused with the Divine Treasure and Celestial Palace cultivation systems. Incomplete, missing 7 stars Divine Treasure, Celestial Being Divine Treasure, and Post-Jade Capital Realm techniques. The Grand Emperor altered it. Qin Mu's mind reeled, struck as if by a hidden blow. If original, he could have fused it with his Spirit Embryo Divine Treasure to perfect it. Now, its utility was diminished, for he possessed only the Spirit Embryo, no Celestial Palace. He imparted what he understood to Shu Jun, who, though stunned, learned diligently. Perplexed, Qin Mu asked, "Divine King Shu Jun, why, as a primordial king, do you still pursue the Divine Treasure cultivation system? The modified Supreme Consciousness is now of little use to either of us." "Brat, do you think I shall persist in mere visualization?" Shu Jun shook his head, his eyes leaping in animated conversation. To continue alone would be to challenge 1,000,000 years of accumulated knowledge, only to be erased by time, as all other masters of creation have been. The other eye offered a sly grin. "Upon resurrection, I shall combine your cultivation with the masters of creation's visualization and consciousness. Even with an incomplete supreme consciousness, my achievements shall rival the Grand Emperor's." Qin Mu was struck silent. Shu Jun's eyes, alive with calculated thought, parsed the marvels of the Grand Overarching Supreme Consciousness. Your divine treasure diverges from the Grand Emperor's path. Lacking many divine treasures, you have chosen a unique, confining path, uncertain how to proceed. Qin Mu nodded, accepting the counsel. Shu Jun guided him. He had exploited the Spirit Embryo Divine Treasure to its utmost, barely sustaining its force with primordial liquid. Its potential reached its apex. His vital chi matched true gods, yet his treasure set limits. Thus he honed his consciousness, striving to escape the impasse, unaware of the path's end, a marvelous realm flowing with the Tao beyond words. Shu Jun instructed, "If I were you, I would open the celestial palace." Humbly, Qin Mu bowed, voice deep with reverence. "Please, Divine King, guide me." Shu Jun lifted his eyelids one after another, the calm in his gaze betraying a faint curiosity at Qin Mu's rare humility. "If you carve a path anew, one that shuns the celestial palace entirely, it is to forsake the divine arts cultivated over 1,000,000 years, abandoning the centuries of wisdom others have wrought. Every technique, every divine art honed through millennia will bear no fruit for you. You will forge a civilization from your own might alone." This was precisely the path that had taken root in Qin Mu's heart. In his contemplation, though the celestial palace had yet to ascend to a perfect celestial heaven, nothing barred it from transformation. Deep within, he longed to cast aside the palace's cultivation system and breathe life into a new order of cultivation. "Have you considered the span of time this endeavor demands?" Shu Jun asked. "1,000,000 years may pass before your new path matures, before this cultivation system reaches its zenith, and you undertake this alone. 1,000,000 years is the cautious reckoning. Yet, should you embrace the celestial palace's ways, a mere few thousand years, or even a few hundred, might suffice for you to ascend, to become the preeminent being beneath the heavens. This I speak from knowing. The choice of path lies with you." Qin Mu bowed in solemn gratitude toward Shu Jun upon the sacrificial altar. Then his consciousness uncoiled like mist and drifted away. Shu Jun's brow furrowed. "Why does this small fellow show me such respect?" Upon the Grand Emperor's sacrificial altar, Qin Mu lifted his gaze, eyes catching the Grand Emperor's seal suspended above the altar. Its presence lent resistance against the swelling might of the Supreme Consciousness realm. Yue Tingge and Luo Wushuang shifted their attention as the celestial ring of stars on the cliff slowed, the unnatural speed abating. Relief coursed through them. The altar glided through the air, approaching the Grand Emperor's corporeal heart, drawing near the convergence of his brows and celestial venerable Huo. Yet Qin Mu's eyes lingered upon the seal, lost in thought. Yue Tingge and Luo Wushuang exchanged puzzled glances, but said nothing. Then, unbidden, tears streaked down Qin Mu's face. Yue Tingge and Luo Wushuang flinched, startled by the sudden melancholy of the celestial venerable Mu. A sorrow deeper than the heart itself welled within him, spilling outward despite his efforts. He had resolved to forgo the untrodden path, to abandon the unknown vistas and sublime marvels that might have awaited him. The past had whispered of the path's boundless beauty. Now he turned his back upon it. The celestial palace, with the wisdom of 1,000,000 years, would guide him instead along the realms of honored God, true God, Jade Pavilion, Jade Capital, and beyond. Or perhaps, after 1,000,000 years of cultivation, he might perfect his own path, surpassing the celestial heavens, etching his name in eternity. Yet eternal peace, reform, comrades, and like-minded souls could not wait. The seed of his ambition ebbed, leaving only a wisp of lingering melancholy, sorrow not of his own heart, but from the distant end of the great Tao itself. The sacrificial altar floated past celestial venerable Huo, its trajectory toward the Grand Emperor's brow unwavering. Luo Wushuang glanced back, voice tinged with unease. "Overlord Body Qin, you bypass celestial venerable Huo. Should we not rescue him first?" Yue Tingge noted this as well, perceiving Qin Mu's intent to skirt the struggling celestial venerable and reach the Grand Emperor's brow first. Qin Mu's laugh was light, serene. "Do not worry, celestial venerable Huo will survive. Am I not correct, celestial venerable Huo?" Celestial venerable Huo offered no response, frozen amidst slowly shifting runes of the great Tao. "He has no opinion," Qin Mu remarked. Luo Wushuang's eyes twitched involuntarily. Qin Mu reassured, "Do not fret. While it may be arduous for him to come here, leaving is effortless. A few hundred years, and he shall emerge." Luo Wushuang's lips pressed tight, fury flashing in his eyes. "Celestial venerable Mu, do you fear that once you rescue him, he will repay your kindness with death?" Qin Mu's gaze was steady. "I do not know if he will strike me, but Heavenly Master Yuo, he will strike you, Yue Tingge. Am I correct?" Yue Tinge's shoulders slumped, a sigh heavy with guilt. "I deceived him, and Celestial Venerable Su, ensnaring him in the Supreme Consciousness realm for so long, he will most likely avenge himself upon me. The sacrificial altar wavered into the Grand Emperor's brow, revealing not the Grand Primordium Origin Stone, but a vast hexagonal wound, brilliance radiating like a sea of clouds tinged with sunset. The altar glided among multicolored rays, the seal drawing their light as a figure appeared seated within their iridescence. Qin Mu inhaled, steeling himself. Heavenly Master Yuo, Divine Knife Luo, can you move a Celestial Venerable's corporeal body? Tremors ran through their hearts at the unmoving figure. The altar reached the figure's side, revealing a graceful bearing, a noble aura, a visage both emperor-like and handsome, yet recognition failed them. Luo Wushuang's mind raced. Which High Emperor? But Overlord Body Qin said he is a Celestial Venerable. Which one perished here? Yotinge whispered with a shudder, Celestial Venerable Yun. Luo Wushuang's mind exploded. The founder of the Divine Bridge Divine Treasure, Celestial Venerable Yun? Qin Mu pressed onward. I cannot move him with my magic. Better that you act. The altar floated before Celestial Venerable Yun's body. Dao Friend Yun, it is time to return home. Suppressing trembling, Yuetinge and Luo Wushuang moved him onto the altar. Qin Mu examined the body. No injuries marred it, yet the soul had vanished. Celestial Venerable Yue said, Yun is dead. Indeed, it is true. Fortunately, I may yet restore him. No trace of the Grand Emperor's consciousness remained. Hide his body in the heart of my brows, Qin Mu decided. A piece of Yudu lies there. They complied, placing Celestial Venerable Yun in the Qin wordland. Qin Mu exhaled, returning the sacrificial altar to its path. Flying past Celestial Venerable Huo again, Luo Wushuang cast a glance at Qin Mu. He halted the altar. Why not turn him around? Luo Wushuang's smile was cold. And gain what? He remains trapped in the Supreme Consciousness realm. Qin Mu said, if he turns alone, 200 years. If aided, 200 years saved. Luo Wushuang hesitated, but Qin Mu interjected, Divine Knife Luo, can you ensure he will not kill us afterward? Silence followed. They turned Celestial Venerable Huo around, and the altar resumed its flight through the void, descending under the ring of stars. They disembarked with the Divine Dragon. Qin Mu stored the altar, leaving the Grand Emperor's seal, eyeing the dragon with suspicion. It was silent, a stark contrast to its former chatter. A tremor in Yotinge's voice. Celestial Venerable Huo made a step. Qin Mu's heart leaped. Indeed, Huo advanced toward them. Crap! His scalp tingled. He surged outward with the others close behind, closer to the realm's core. Suppression intensified. Yet each step Huo took weakened it, hastening his eventual liberation. The ground trembled, mountains shattered, the sky quaked. Flames erupted, consuming the horizon within the Supreme Consciousness realm. Qin Mu froze. The sound of thunderous footsteps reverberated again. Brighter, more menacing. Celestial Venerable Huo is free! He charged frantically. Yuetinge surged ahead, shouting his intent to act first. Qin Mu's fury blazed as Yuetinge transformed into cubes, tumbling away into the void. Luo Wushuang, swifter, raced ahead, harnessing the magic of Jade Pool or Jade Capital. Qin Mu called after him. Why flee when you spoke of rescuing him? Shame laced Luo Wushuang's features. I feared that if Huo kills you, he would silence me too, lest he bear the infamy. I forgot loyalty. The Divine Dragon overtook him, gliding on wind, surpassing all expectation. Qin Mu realized, the Grand Emperor has seized the body of this dragon. Flames ignited behind him, scorching, threatening to consume. Qin Mu froze, forced a smile. Celestial Venerable Huo, long time. Luo Wushuang halted, knife chi flaring. Huo soared, leaping before the dragon, seizing it. The dragon struggled, but Huo's grasp was absolute. Cold laughter, you cannot kill me. My consciousness suffuses the realm. I am immortal. Flames erupted, reducing the dragon to ashes. Huo's gaze fixed on Qin Mu. Celestial Venerable Mu, we meet again. Expressionless, Huo's fiery ring rotated, suns exploding across its blaze. Agitation marked his eyes. Each encounter recalls the Jade Pool when you struck me. Qin Mu met him solemnly. Through exchange of blows, lifelong bonds are forged. Huo nodded, departing. It is fortunate Yun rests with you. Qin Mu shouted after him. What gratitude do you speak of? Huo's voice faded. You revived Celestial Venerable Yu? At Jade Pool, I promised if you discovered his killer, I would relinquish my hatred. You not only uncovered it, but restored him. Qin Mu waved, voice firm. Let us converse before you go. Huo's presence faded, voice distant. Seeing you sickens me, tempting blows to death. Beware, celestial venerable Shu, she is dangerous. Luo Wushuang's heart thumped wildly, realizing truths perhaps better left unknown, a rebellion stirring within.